Mr. Mayor.
We've got a dangerous felon at large, and this officer is playing Halloween pranks. Miss Crane was kind enough to take the time to explain to me what really happened earlier. You neglected to tell me Miss Crane was the instigator.
You really want to do something for me?
What can I do?
Stay the hell out of my life!
What a nightmare. At least it's over. Luis has his job back, and pretty soon I will be through with my community service, and I will never have to see him again.
No, Mr. Mayor, I don't think it's a good idea to get Julian Crane involved. Because he has nothing to do with it. His sister told you that it was all her fault. Officer Lopez Fitzgerald is a good officer, sir. Yes, but the matter's settled. No, Mr. Mayor, I'm not trying to tell you how to do your job. Damn, he's gonna tell Julian anyway. Luis is in for it now.
Sounds like you having a bad morning, Chief Bennett.
Yeah, it's only gonna get worse.
Well, I thought I'd find you in here, Julian.
I told Cook to serve my breakfast in here this morning. After a little disagreement last night, I didn't relish seeing you first thing in the morning.
Oh, because I objected to the advice you were giving Ethan, that the standards and morals of the rest of the world don't apply to the Crane men.
I only told our son the simple facts of life as the Cranes live it. I'm still not in the mood to see you. I would like to finish my puzzle in peace.
I have no intention of upsetting your morning.
Really? Why's that?
Because one of the maids just told me that Gwen spent the night with Ethan. So I guess your little lecture didn't impress my son very much. He assured me that he still loves Gwen and that he has no desire to sleep with any other woman.
What do you expect him to say to his mother or his fiancée?
My son doesn't lie. And I wish you would stop encouraging him to sow his wild oats and run around behind Gwen's back and stop putting into his head the idea that it's all right just to have fun with a girl like Teresa.
You think you know your son so well. I happen to know he likes Teresa.
Well, of course he likes Teresa. She is our housekeeper's daughter. But Ethan would never, ever hurt Pilar by trying to sleep with Teresa. And you had better keep your hands to yourself, too.
Ivy, you shock me. I merely made an observation based upon the look I saw between Ethan and Teresa.
Well, keep your observation to yourself. I will not have you ruin Ethan and Gwen's future. I won't stand for it. Do you hear me?
How dare you use that tone of voice with me?
I always dreamed about how it would feel to be in Ethan's arms, dancing the night away. You know what? The real thing was so much better than I ever dreamed.
Teresa, snap out of it. I know last night may have seemed like a dream, but believe me, Gwen Hotchkiss is a harsh reality.
Gwen, I don't want to talk about her.
I know you don't, but her antenna is up, Teresa. She is on to you. She's going to land on you with both feet and fight for her man.
Can you just picture her doing that?
Yes, I can. She has power and money and all that blue blood heritage on her side. I'm afraid for you, Teresa, and all you can do is joke around.
Good morning. Gwen, can I at least get a good morning?
Good morning.
Don't tell me you're still upset about what happened at the dance last night.
I'm sorry, Ethan, but I am.
Gwen, I thought you understood that it was just a mix-up.
Oh, yes, another mix-up. I got paged, and when I went to go find a phone, I got locked in a storage room. And Teresa danced with you the whole evening.
It wasn't the whole evening.
Well, we hardly danced at all, Ethan. Tell me something. Why is it that all of these mix-ups are lucky for Teresa and unlucky for me?
What are you saying?
I'm saying, when are you going to realize what's going on here?
I would hold the hand of the one who could lead me places. lips of the one who could sing so sweet. And I would fly on the wings of a bird I knew could take me high as breathe in, breathe out. You keep me alive. You are the fire burning inside of me. You are my passion for life.
Gwen, I've told you over and over again there's nothing going on between Teresa and me.
Maybe not yet, but she is after you, Ethan. I'm sure of it.
You're wrong. I've told you she's in love with some other guy.
Oh, yes. That's the reason we went to the Halloween dance last night, so we could help Teresa get together with her guy.
That was your idea, Gwen. And it isn't our fault since he wasn't there.
Oh, you're missing the point, Ethan. Teresa wasn't looking for anyone. She was perfectly happy dancing with you.
She didn't know who I was until we both took off our masks.
How do you know that?
Gwen, what do you think? That Teresa planned the whole thing? That she got rid of you so she could dance with me?
I don't think that's so far-fetched, Ethan.
I do. Look, Gwen, first of all, she didn't even know that we were going to dance. And second, she had no idea what our costumes were, so she wouldn't be able to tell who we were. And, sweetheart, please don't do this to yourself. You're making this out to be much more than what happened. I mean, Teresa's not trying to break us up.
You sound so sure.
I am sure.
Well, maybe you're right, but I'm so tired of always being the bad guy.
You're not the bad guy, darling. Look, I just want you to be happy, okay?
I am not worried about Gwen. She may have all the money and power on her side, but I have something better on mine, and that's fate.
Fate.
Yeah. I mean, do you think it was an accident that Mama came home and told us that Ethan and Gwen would be at the dance and what costumes they'd be wearing? It was no accident, Whitney. It was destiny.
Oh, so it was destiny that made you call Gwen's pager? Fate that got her locked in the storage closet so she couldn't dance with Ethan all night, right?
I believe if an opportunity presents itself, you have to take advantage of it.
You're justifying dirty tricks, Teresa.
No. I'm in love. And I know deep in his heart, Ethan feels the same way.
What would possibly give you the idea that Ethan feels the same way?
I could tell the way he held me in his arms. I could feel it, Whitney. The electricity between us. It was magical.
You guys were wearing costumes, in masks. He didn't even know it was you that he was dancing with, Teresa.
That just proves my point. Without Ethan actually seeing me, he felt drawn to me. It's like we have this deep inner connection in our souls.
Okay, let's just suppose you're right. You still have one major problem.
What problem?
Gwen, the girl that he's in love with, the girl that is going to scratch your eyes out if you keep this up.
I am telling you, she is not going to stand in our way.
Ethan loves Gwen. She is the girl that he is going to marry.
You are so wrong, Whitney. The only girl he's going to marry is me.
Over Ivy Crane's dead body.
Do not presume to give me orders, especially when it comes to our son. Ethan is a young, red-blooded Crane male who has every right to his share of women.
Oh, my God, what are we, Vikings?
He can't be expected to ignore what he wants and just put it aside.
I wish I had a tape recorder. I would love to save this for the anthropologists.
Stop being condescending. And it's not as if you weren't aware of the facts when you married me.
Our situation was completely different.
Well, I don't think so. I'm a man. Ethan's a man. What's different?
Ethan, thank God, is nothing like you.
Yes, thanks to your coaching all these years, he'd be better off if he were more like me.
That is something I will prevent with my last breath.
Let's just hope that Gwen is more prepared to accept the fact that Ethan's a real man. She's not naive. She knows the rules of our social set.
No, I don't think so.
Well, then she better learn, and fast.
How fitting that you would corrupt the one decent thing in this family, my son, by putting down fidelity and commitment.
Don't talk to me about commitment. Where were you the first night of our honeymoon? I'd still like to know the answer to that one.
Oh,
You know perfectly well that what happened that night was not my fault. I am not the one that cursed this marriage from the very first day we took our vows.
And I suppose I am.
You know damn well you are. Maybe you would like me to tell the world the hell that you have put me through. Or perhaps I should just tell the children what a bastard their father is.
Fine. Maybe I'll tell them a few things about their mother.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
I will do whatever the hell I want to do.
Yes. You always do. It's one of the things that excites me even after all these years. It's your fire. Your passion. The scent. Feel of your skin. The ecstasy of surrender. In my arms.
That was over a long time ago for us, Julian.
I felt you respond. You missed it.
Don't be ridiculous.
I have wondered how you could go so long without a man.
With a man like you, it's easy.
Bitch!
It's so simple to get to you, Julian. Your Crane manhood is your weakness.
What's your weakness, Ivy? A woman as cold as you must have one. You know, I've been trying to figure out why you've been so riled up lately after all this time.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. After all these years maintaining our marriage of convenience, why are you suddenly acting up? Why are you so restless? What happened? What's changed? Come on, Ivy. What is it? You're like a raw nerve. Why?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. For years, you've been willing to accept the rules of the game of this marriage, but lately you've been making noises like someone who's not content. Why would you want to challenge me now?
Do you want to know why, Julian? Do you really want to know why? Because I will tell you.
I'm sorry to interrupt. There's a call from Mr. Crane.
Thank you, Pilar. I suggest you pull yourself together. And do it fast. One more thing. Stop referring to Ethan as your son. He's my son, too.
How much is it, Beth?
5.
5? Yep. There you go.
Thanks. See you later.
Hey, Chad. I hear you and Harmony looking for some family connections. Any luck?
Not yet.
Well, hey, if you ever need my help, you can come down to the station. Maybe I can help you find something.
Thanks, Chief Bennett, but I'm beginning to think I ain't got no connection to this town. Maybe I'm just wasting my time.
You're not thinking about taking off, are you? I mean, I heard you just got a job with TC working over at the high school.
Yeah, I told him I'd give it a try.
Good. You know, I think you should really give it a good shot. Because you never know what you might find here in Harmony, past or future. I'll see you around.
Oh, Gwen, come on in.
Hi, thanks. Do you want any coffee?
Oh, yes, of course. How are you doing?
I've been better. You look about as bad as I feel, Sheridan. What's wrong?
I was having trouble sleeping. I keep having nightmares.
Oh, Halloween will do that to you.
Yes, that and a certain run-in with Officer Lopez Fitzgerald.
Oh, no, again?
Mm-hmm. We just can't seem to stay out of each other's hair.
If it's any consolation to you, you're not the only one having nightmares about that family.
You talking about Teresa?
My own little Lopez Fitzgerald nightmare.
Thanks. I thought you and Ethan worked through this. You know your suspicions about Teresa are unfounded, don't you?
I thought so. But after what happened last night, I am more convinced than ever that Teresa has feelings for Ethan.
Ivy Crane, she would never stand in the way if Ethan and I wanted to be together.
Do not bet on that, Teresa.
Whitney, she's crazy about me.
She may love you as her personal assistant, just like she loves your mother as a servant, but not as a daughter-in-law.
Whitney, I know that Ethan is the most important person in the whole world to Mrs. Crane. But if she knows that I would be the one to make him happy, that she would accept me. Not as a servant, but as her daughter-in-law.
Even if Ethan stopped loving Gwen and suddenly fell madly in love with you, she would not let Ethan marry outside of his class.
Ethan will make her understand how he feels. He told me the night we went to the ballet that if people from two different worlds met and fell in love, that they should be together no matter what.
Teresa, this is all very romantic and wonderful, and I know you wanted it to be true, but it's never going to happen, Teresa. Why do you keep setting yourself up for disaster?
Haven't you ever had an irrational, totally unrealistic, passionate feeling about anything?
No, I haven't.
Okay, but that's how I feel about Ethan. I know it's irrational, and I know it's unrealistic, but I can't ignore the passion I feel. If I do, I'll die.
You may die anyway. Teresa, you are my best friend. I hate to see you hurt.
The only thing that will hurt is losing Ethan.
You don't have him to lose. I can see how much it's hurt you already. Every time you see Ethan kiss Gwen, every time you hear Ethan tell her he loves her, I can see how much it devastates you. And I hate to see you hurting like that.
Whitney, I love you for worrying about me. But I'm gonna be all right.
All right, let's just forget about your heart being broken, okay? And forget about Gwen scratching your eyes out. What about your brother Luis?
I don't want to think about him.
You know how he hates the Crane family. If he finds out that you're still fantasizing about Ethan, and even worse, you've been working for Ivy Crane, he will kill you.
Yeah, I know it. I'll just have to find a way to deal with him. But his bark is a lot worse than his bite. Eventually, Luis will have to find a way to deal with Ethan in my life.
Good. You're here.
Oh, what is it, Luis?
I don't want anyone from this family to go anywhere near the Cranes. And if it's you, Teresa, you're going to a convent in Mama's old country, behind 50-foot walls so you can never see anyone named Crane again.
How awful. How did you get locked in a storage room?
Oh, I have no idea. But guess who the girl was who sent me there in the first place?
Who?
Teresa.
Are you sure?
Well, I wasn't until I saw her take her mask off later on. Teresa was the one who sent me to that storage room, Sheridan. And when someone finally came by and let me out, I found Teresa dancing with Ethan. Apparently, they spent the whole evening together dancing.
Well, what did Ethan have to say about all this?
Oh, he told me I was making too much of it, that it was just a mix-up. He said, how could Teresa even know we were at the dance, let alone what we'd be wearing?
Well, I tend to think he's right. I mean, honestly, how would she have known?
I don't know. Maybe she recognized Ethan in spite of his costume. All I know is that something is always happening with Teresa, and there's always a good explanation, and I'm tired of it.
Did something happen, Luis?
Yeah, something happened. I almost lost my job because of it, and of course it was all her fault.
Who?
2 words. Sheridan Crane. See, here I am, working hard, trying to make a good impression, trying to make it to detective so that I can earn enough money so that Mama can quit her lousy job. And then bam, this happens.
What happens?
She made me look like an idiot in front of the mayor.
Mayor? How?
Look, I won't go into the gory details. But the point is, the mayor thought I was an incompetent moron. And to make things worse, Sheridan talked to him, tried to fix things, but she just made things worse.
How?
Oh, when your name is Crane, it's easy. She's just like the rest of the family, just looking out for herself. They don't care about what they do to anyone or how they hurt other people.
I'm so sorry you're so upset, Luis.
Look, it's not your fault. I just want to warn you one more time. If you're still dreaming about Prince Ethan, forget about him. Forget about the rest of the Cranes. Just forget they even exist. You understand? I gotta get to work. You remember what I said? You stay away from the Cranes.
You better listen to him, Teresa. He means it.
Whoa! Where's the fire, Luis?
Sorry, Sam. What are you doing here?
I just got a call on the cell phone from Julian Crane.
Oh, what'd he want?
He wants to see us at the mansion right now.
Both of us?
Yeah? He specifically asked me to bring you along.
Why?
Well, I'm not sure, but I assume it's about last night. And let me tell you something, he wasn't happy.
I was so close, Pilar, so close to telling Julian everything.
I thought you were, and you frightened me terribly. You mustn't break the silence, not after all these years.
Oh, he makes me so angry. I just don't want to hurt him. I want to wipe that smug smile off his face.
Ivy, you must think of the consequences. Think of what you'd be destroying by revealing the truth.
You're right. You're right, Pilar. Thank you. Thank you for stopping me before I ruined everything.
I know how much you've sacrificed.
Yes, you do. Thank God somebody knows what I've been through. Oh, do you remember Sam from those days?
Of course I remember him. But it does no good to remember that time. It's very dangerous for you to wear that locket. Every time I see you with it, I worry that someone else will find it.
I'm very careful, Pilar. In all the years I've worn this locket, no one has ever seen it, and no one ever will.
If you don't let go of your fantasy about being with Ethan, you're going to be in some convent in the old country.
Well, I'll just have to take my chances.
Are you totally crazy? I mean, didn't you hear what your brother just said? He is manic on the subject of the Cranes.
He's not as scary as he sounds sometimes.
Okay, let's just say that the impossible does happen, and you and Ethan do end up together. Luis would never let it happen. He would kill Ethan. And then you'd be living with the nuns.
Now who's being overly dramatic?
I am deadly serious, Teresa. If you're smart, you will quit your job working for Ivy Crane and leave Ethan alone.
Do you know what you're asking me to do?
Yes. Get your head out of the clouds and forget about Ethan Crane. Or you can start practicing saying your vows.
Whitney, I love Ethan, and a woman just doesn't walk away from the man she loves. You've never been in love, so you don't understand.
I am so sick of hearing you say that, Teresa. Why do you just assume that I don't have feelings like any other girl?
I guess it's because you love tennis. It's your life, and I'm not putting you down. It's just that with you, tennis comes first, before anything else.
Well, just because tennis comes first doesn't mean I don't have room in my life for other things. Don't you think that maybe I would want to go out on dates, you know? Maybe even have a boyfriend?
I've never heard you talk about any of these things before. Where are they all coming from?
I don't know. I guess it was watching everyone dancing last night and having so much fun. I guess I realized I am missing out on a lot of things.
Whitney, it's only natural for you to feel like that. Even I've been telling you all along, you need something in your life besides tennis.
But my father wouldn't agree. He thinks that there's going to be plenty of time for all that after I'm established on the tennis circuit.
Whitney, I know your father loves you and he wants you to be happy, but if I didn't know you were feeling this way, I'm sure he doesn't know it either.
I don't know, maybe. You think I should tell him?
You should. I know if you tell him how you felt that you were missing out on life, he'd understand.
Maybe you're right. You know, I will talk to him.
Well, good.
Thank you.
Listen, I gotta go back to the Crane Mansion before school, so I better go.
Okay, listen, be careful. And remember what Luis said. Do not let him catch you there.
Don't worry, the Crane Mansion is the last place Louise would ever be.
You wanted to see us, Julian?
Yes. I received a very disturbing call from Mayor Demarest this morning, Sam. That's why I asked you to come here. I want to know what the hell is going on with this man and my sister Sheridan.
What? What about your sister?
I want to know why you allow this officer to continually harass my family.
Ivy, I beg of you, put that locket away where no one will ever find it. That part of your life is over.
No, Pilar. It will never be over, you know that.
But for your sake and the sake of the family, it must be.
Yes. You're right.
Still, I desperately wish I could just go back and do it all over again.
I know, Ivy, I know. But you must never let Julian know the reason why you've suddenly become dissatisfied after all these years of accepting this life.
It was just seeing Sam in the house. It just brought back all those memories.
No one can ever learn your secret.
What's that about secret?
Gwen, listen. Ethan and I are as close as any two people can be. He loves you. He would never be unfaithful to you. It's just not in him. Trust me, you have nothing to worry about with Ethan.
What about Teresa? Do I have nothing to worry about there?
I don't know the girl, but she seems nice. I mean, like her mother. She's certainly not anything like her brother, Luis.
What is his problem with your family?
I don't know. He doesn't confide in me.
Do you think Teresa's intimidated by him?
I don't know. And probably because she's young. But the point is, even if Teresa did have feelings for Ethan, there is no way they could ever be together. She knows Luis would lock her up forever, and Ivy and Julian would go crazy too.
Hello, Ethan, darling.
Morning, Mother. Pilar?
Hello, Ethan.
So what's this about a secret?
What exactly did you hear, Ethan?
Well, obviously not enough. I just heard Pilar say something about a secret.
Well, then my surprise is safe.
What surprise?
I'm planning a surprise for you and Gwen, and I want it to be a secret, and that is all I'm going to say.
All right, then I won't badger you about it.
If you'll excuse me, I'll see to your breakfast.
Thank you, Pilar.
Lisa, what are you doing here? You're not working for Mrs. Crane today?
No, Mom, I had to get something from her computer before school.
Well, hurry up and go. It's not a good day for you to be here.
Why, what's going on?
There's just a lot of tension in the house. It's just best if you go.
Tension about what?
Teresa, just do as I say. Please. You know I never wanted you to work for Mrs. Crane in the first place. And if Luis ever found out...
Ethan, when are you going to propose to Gwen?
I told you, as soon as the ring I want is ready.
I don't want you to wait for the ring. I want you to do it now. Get married quickly.
Mother, I know the kind of wedding Gwen's family and you want to put together. I mean, it'll take months of planning.
Forget the big wedding. You and Gwen, you can elope and we can have a huge reception afterwards.
I don't understand. Why the sudden rush?
I just don't want anything to happen, anything that would delay your being together. You do love Gwen, don't you?
Of course I love her.
Then please, Ethan, don't wait. I think you should get married right away and move to Washington.
Washington? But I just came back to Harmony for good a few months ago. I mean, you wanted me to get established so I can take over Crane Industries.
Yes, but we also talked about you eventually having a political career. I don't think we should waste any more time. I think it's important that you move to Washington and start your career. We can arrange for you to join the legal staff of someone in Congress, perhaps Senator Porter's office. Ethan, what is the matter?
Mother, ever since I got back from law school, I'm starting to see how things are kept from me.
What are you talking about?
You and Father. I mean, I've asked you before if your marriage was happy, and you said you were. But after hearing what Father said yesterday, I need to know. Are you really happy?
Yes, Ethan. I am happy. You and your brother and your sisters, you are my life. I made a choice and I am committed to it. I just want a better happiness for you.
Mother, how can there be a better happiness? You're either happy or you're not.
Yes, you're right. And you are going to be happy, deliriously happy each and every day. Always. That's why I want you and Gwen to get married and move to Washington. The future is yours, Ethan. With our backing and name, you can have a wonderful political career.
And I'll be running Crane Industries.
Yes, if that's what makes you happy.
I've already accepted that that's what I'll do. I mean, I'm a Crane. I'm proud of it. It's who I am.
Yes, I know.
But I'm not going to be the kind of man Father is.
Don't talk against your father. He's a wonderful man.
That's the first time I've ever heard you defend Father.
But Julian, yes. Ethan, I just want you to promise me that you will always be proud of who you are. No matter what happens, promise me that.
Julian, I know what the mayor told you, but I think he misunderstood the whole situation.
Misunderstood? Well, he made it very clear that this officer deliberately dragged my sister into some ridiculous antics.
Dragged her into it. She threw a pie at me.
Luis. Now, I know Sheridan never wanted to get Luis into trouble. I mean, she explained it to Mayor Dimerson, said the whole situation was her fault. It was a simple misunderstanding.
This isn't the first run-in Luis has had with my family. First, he tried to arrest my son on the beach for some minor infraction. Then he did arrest Sheridan, forcing her to spend the night in jail.
She was driving recklessly, and then she smashed into my police car.
The fact is, Officer Lopez Fitzgerald has some sort of irrational grudge against my family.
Irrational? I don't think so.
He came barreling into my home one night, brandishing a loaded weapon.
I heard gunshots. I thought somebody might have been in trouble.
Well, obviously no one was in trouble, were they? So why don't you just admit it, Lopez? You have it in for my family.
Well, the Crane family isn't exactly on my top 10 list of favorite people.
Julian, I can assure you that this officer is not going out of his way to harass your family.
Unfortunately, your assurances are not enough. I'm fed up with this situation. I'm a very important member of this community. I will not be threatened by this man.
I've never threatened you.
Luis, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to wait outside and let me talk to Julian in private.
We're talking about my career here, Sam.
I said step outside, and that's an order. All right. You've had your say. Now I want you to listen to me.
Good morning, Whitney.
Hi, Miss Jensen.
Is Dad around?
Yes, I saw him earlier. I think he's in his office.
Thanks.
Daddy, it's me. I need to talk to you about something. It's kind of important, so please, just let me get through it all before you say anything, okay? I've been doing a lot of thinking. About tennis, about life, and a lot of other things. Now, don't get me wrong, Daddy. I love tennis. You know I do. Some people think I play so hard because you want me to be great, but I play hard because I want it too. I just... tennis is not the only thing I want in my life. I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of things. Things that are important, things that I shouldn't be missing out on. Daddy, I want to start dating. I'd like to maybe even have a boyfriend. Now, I know this wasn't in our plans, Daddy, but it's what normal girls my age do. And I want to be normal like the other girls. The last thing I would want to do is hurt you, so it's really important for you to tell me that it's okay. So what do you think, Daddy? Is it okay?
I think you should go for it.
Chad?
Go off tennis for a little while. Live a little. Enjoy life. Maybe it'll loosen you up.
All right. Chief Bennett, let's hear it.
I can understand you wanting to protect your family, but Luis is not your enemy. There was a simple misunderstanding between Sheridan and Luis. Just ask your sister. She'll tell you there's nothing to the incident.
What about all the other incidents?
There were circumstances leading to each and every one of them. Luis was just doing his job. Luis is one of my officers, and it's my police department. And I can't have you attacking one of my officers.
Need I remind you that I'm not only a prominent member of the community, I'm also a very big supporter of the Harmony Police Department.
I'm aware of that.
Then you must also be aware of the fact that I'm on the police commission. And as a member of that commission, I'm giving you a direct order. Fire Luis Lopez Fitzgerald.
Oh, thanks for talking to me, Sheridan. I do feel better.
Gwen, you know you can talk to me anytime about anything.
I just thought of something. If Luis ever found out that his sister was working here for Ethan's mother, all of my fears about Teresa would disappear.
What do you mean?
Luis would force Teresa to quit her job, and she would never get the chance to be near Ethan again.
Mother, I'm proud of who I am, and I'm proud of my heritage. But after hearing Father talk about the Crane morality, I'm not like that. I don't think I could ever be like that.
I hope to heaven you never are.
No, the fact is, after hearing him talk about women, as if taking a woman, any woman, is the absolute right of being a Crane, I mean, it disgusted me, Mother.
I would be upset with you if it didn't disgust you.
But he seems to think that I'm just like him.
Well, you aren't. And you never will be.
How can you be so sure?
Because I know who you are.
Excuse me, Mrs. Crane. Cook would like to speak with you.
Thank you, Alice.
Yes.
Excuse me, I'll just be a moment.
Take your time. Oh, Alice, do you know where my mother keeps her stamps?
I believe they're in her desk.
Thanks.